Daniel, when you go back and you think about technically challenging films that you were involved in, where does Blue Thunder rate?
I was going to say, Blue Thunder is pretty high up on the list. That was some really scary stuff. I remember one scene where the helicopter is supposed to crash, and they put a camera on outside the bubble of the helicopter facing me, and then they took the helicopter up, and then they start screeching down, and I'm supposed to go, we're going down, or whatever my line was, and I just laughed the entire time because I was so scared that I convulsed into laughter at my own death, which I should examine that someday. And then had to do it again, and that was a very scary movie to shoot.
Yeah, do you ever have second thoughts about doing that film when you were shooting it with Roy Scheider?
At that moment, repeatedly. I had second, third, fourth, fifth. I think I went up to 2,000 on that. It was, there was a lot of scary stuff. Also, there was another scene in that one. Mr. Badham really goes after it, but where I'm being run over by a car, and they're chasing me, and the camera was behind me or something, and I have my hands handcuffed behind my back and my mouth taped closed, and I'm running at as fast as I can because this car is coming up behind me, like right up my back, and I thought if I fall, if I trip, there's no way he can stop in time. I didn't though, but it was. Yeah, there was a few times, although it was fun. In a sick way.
Okay. Well, let's talk about sequels for a moment. You're in Home Alone, incredibly successful film. City Slickers, incredibly successful. When they start talking sequel, does your agent start salivating about how much you're going to get for the movie?
Yes, which is his job, and mine is to maintain my artistic integrity. A lot of times we switch places, no, that's a good part of it, a really good part of it. But it's also, I do enjoy those two movies. I've enjoyed the making of the first ones. They've been two of the best experiences, and then they were successful where, I got to connect with an audience in a much bigger way than I got to on The Breaking Aways or Diner or Blue Thunders. I really got to an audience that way, and that was very satisfying, and a chance to go back and reconnect was a good opportunity, too.
Now, speaking of connecting, you kind of connect with Time Life books with this movie. Are you expecting a lot of free samples?
Yeah, great. I get, like Arnold Schwarzenegger gets the Porsche, and I get a complete set of Time Life books. That's great. Looking forward to it.
Now, in the first City Slickers, you have a great scene with Billy Crystal talking about programming a VCR, and it just seemed to hit a button with a lot of people. How much feedback did you get from audiences
on that scene?
About that
a lot.
Scene?
It really did connect right in. From many strangers all the way to my parents, thinking that was the funniest thing because they still have the 12 o'clock thing flashing at their house it's been 20 years. That one, it was a little scene, but it really, it did hit a nerve.
Now, City Slickers seems to be a uniquely American film, American themes.
Mm-hmm.
And also the film that you directed,
Rookie
of the Year. Also, how did those two movies translate in foreign markets?
It depends. Rookie of the Year had trouble in Japan. It was huge. In Australia, it was huge. It actually did really well, surprisingly, in Europe, more so than was expected. But those other cultures have baseball to connect it to. So you have to find the connection to the culture. And with City Slickers, the cowboy culture is not really in the blood. It's more observational. I don't know how City Slickers did internationally. I don't really know, but a lot of the humor translates.
I was watching some behind-the-scenes footage of the making of Home Alone 2, and also stuff at Wrigley Stadium when you're doing the Rookie of the Year. All the people around you. Was that a welcome change of pace to be out in the middle of Utah? And did spectators ever come by to watch the film being shooting?
Once we were at Arches National Park and we got a crowd of 3. But it was, yeah, I mean, making a movie is a private situation. You're trying to fantasize that the movie crew isn't there, and the movie crew is trained to basically disappear. I mean, in a way, disappear so that you can be alone in those situations. And it's a little distracting to have a lot of people watching, but and it's incredibly boring. You feel like if there's an audience there, you want to entertain them, but you can't be telling the jokes too loud for everybody, or it doesn't look, you know. It's a little strange to have people watch you shoot a movie, but sort of fun.